निस्सङ्गत्वे निर्मोहत्वम् निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्वम् निश्चलतत्वे जीवन्मुक्तिः। सत्संगत्वे निस्संगत्वम, निस्संगत्वे निर्मोहत्वम, निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्वम, निश्चलतत्वे जीवन मुक्ति। In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in the 67th shloka, I think, which we teach as a topic of discussion in Balavihar in the 6th grade. 6th grade parents, anybody? Okay, 6th grade. It is called the ladder of fall. How do we lose our peace of mind? ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषूपजायते संगात् संजायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति। प्रणश्यति, नश्यति gets destroyed. Pranashyati, destroyed completely. When will that nasha happen? Pranasha happen? Buddhinashat pranashyati. Whenever the switch of our buddhi gets short circuited, then there is nasha. Why? Again, I connect it back to the present chapter that we are learning. In the last 3 shlokas that we learnt, last week we just saw it, the meaning, that buddhi is the subtlest one. Buddhi evaluates and gives direction to the mana, which is the mind. Whose mana? Our own mind. Because we have a lot of fun directing others, but this is specifically talking about our own self. So our own buddhi directs our own mana, and that mana is the interface between the buddhi and the organs of perception and action. Everybody wants to perform well in the outside field. Is there anybody who does not want to? If not for appreciation and limelight, at least to feel good for our own self, we definitely want to excel in our day-to-day, whatever field of activity. When 2 or 3 or 4 activities in our life go bad, then they say, mood kharab ho gaya. You know, my mind, my internal thing, it's really upset. How do we quickly set it up? Because externally, whatever patchwork that we do doesn't seem to be a fitting response. I thought this happened only in India, where there is roads, or many places there is potholes and less of road. You have to search for the road. What do? They clean up that little hole, fill it up with asphalt and compress it. मतलब pressing कम करते हैं, and first rains that it fall, it all peels out. For last 10 years, that is what was happening on Frankfurt. Finally, they have put or they are still putting the new roads. Otherwise, here also the same work was being done, that they would clean that little area, patch it up, and a little bit of traffic and rain, and with our kind of snow here, we cannot really boldly say it is snow. Before we claim it, it has already become sleet, and roads compress, expand, and things go bad. Patchwork becomes ugly again. Pretty much so that we do the same thing with our life. Externally, we want to quick fix our situation, life experience, and raat gayi, baat gayi. It passes out and then it's okay. It's not pulled me down. I can pull myself to the next day and continue along. And we have made that our trademark. In Maharashtra, now it has become a popular word. In Maharashtra, there used to be a word called Jugad. Nothing from the inside out change, but an external quick fix. We as a community have started claiming that we are very good at it. Am I making it up, or do you agree with that? Most of us agree with that. That is a quick fix done. And added to that is the Texan wisdom. What is the Texan wisdom added into this Jugad? If it ain't broke, don't fix. If it ain't really broken, then no need to fix. Move on. सब कुछ चलता है. There comes a time in our life wherein we are frustrated when these experiences happen, a daily, repetitive, recurring, unfulfilling kind of days, experiences. So we hear in American English, how are you? My life sucks. It is not that great. How do we fix it? And it seems like, see, if you came from Bombay, Maharashtra or Gujarat area, there is a medicine called Kailash Jeevan. Has anybody heard of it? आपने सुना है? It is used for pretty much everything, from headache to scratch to anything, internal, external, they use Kailash Jeevan. Use करते हैं ना? I wouldn't equate it to tiger balm. Tiger balm cannot be used internally. इसको internally भी use कर देते हैं. So one thing fix all. Quick shop. We search for shortcuts to fix. Even in life, many people come ask, Swami, meditation sikha do yaar. With this meditation, everything will get fixed. I mean, the whole Bhagavad Gita then is redundant. Bhagavan Krishna should have also made Arjuna sit down, meditate. युद्ध अपने आप हो जाएगा. No. Even in Bhagavad Gita, the krama, the sequence is laid out so beautifully that it impacts our buddhi. And when buddhi gets impacted, mind gets impacted. When mind gets impacted, our organs of perception, action are haywire, and then our actions through that become completely bizarre. And then we keep complaining. had read this a long, long time ago. If in the middle of a thick situation, if there is somebody who can smile, do you know why he can smile? Because he knows who to blame it on. Because the next best thing that we do is blame game. And when there is no recourse of blame game, then अय्यो मेरे भाग ही ऐसे फूटे निकले. My bad luck, my fate, my stars are not aligned. And we run around. I have not seen proper TV, in like 15 years or so. But when those Indian channels you see, there used to be this Ajmeri Baba, Chamunda Swami. They would, you call them and they give you an amulet or something, taviz, and suddenly they claim that your life, your married life, your personal problems, your internal problems, your external problems, your businesses, everything will be fixed. Suna hai aisa advertisement? Yes, no? Okay, very good. My take on that was, there were like 4 of them, 4 clienteles. All of them had a UK number, +44, if I am not wrong. UK number. And my take on that was, they must have been 4 siblings or brothers from the same apartment complex calling different clientele. So once it was Puja Guruji, Swami Tejomananji. We were at somebody's house and that Amma was watching, she was meticulously watching her TV. Whatever soap opera that she was watching. She was a very elderly lady. And then in the corner of our eye we could see, but we could hear loudly, one of these advertisements. So tab I was still Uddhav Chaitanya. So Guruji turned to me and said, "Hey Uddhav, phone laga unko." I was like shocked. You really want me to call them up? Ha, jaldi jaldi laga. If for everything in life they have a solution, what are you and I doing? Let us become their agents. If that is a quick fix that can fix everything. See, many of us know that that cannot be a quick fix, but in utter sheer desperation, we take all kinds of routes. Because at the end of it, what is left is, why me? Why does this happen to me always? Why am I always in the lower rung? How do we reconstruct this whole thing? That is given in this 9th shloka of Bhajagovindam. If the 2nd chapter Bhagavad Gita shloka Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsaha is the ladder of fall, how do we slip up in life? If that is understood, that is problem understanding. Problem resolution is in Bhajagovindam. So this 9th shloka, step by step, gives us a beautiful clarity. Satsangatve nissangatvam. Simple meaning, if you are in satsanga, sat meaning, a very easy meaning of that would be good. Sangha, company. If you are in good company, satsangatve nissangatvam. You will get out of the company. I am literally translating. Nissanga. Nissanga means sangha, in company. Nissanga, not in company anymore. If you are in good company, you will get out of company. What kind of company? That which can be put in the bucket called bad influence. How does one get out of bad influence? Whether that influence is from the outside or from the inside. Most of the time, it is less of the outside and more of the inside. Most of the times. Our problems, though it appears that it is being triggered by the outside, it often is the inside which needs due correction. We have our wrong convictions. We have settled down in our own comfort zones. We don't want to put the effort to get out of those comfort zones to make a correction, course correction. We tend to be, because the kids are not here, I can say it out loud. When we look at our kids and say, why are you being so lazy? Put proper effort. When I hear such statements from the parents towards their children, मेरे दिमाग में तो I'm giggling because apple doesn't fall far from the tree. We also do the same things. Many people choose to come on the second session on Sundays, or when we used to have Saturday sessions before the pandemic, people preferred the later time than the earlier time. So when I asked them why, Swami ji, ek din milta hai, one day, and that is the only day that we can afford to be a little lethargic, wake up late, instead of breakfast have a brunch, and then come along. This day also, if you have to wake up at the same time, we get burnt out. ऐसे बहाने सुनते रहते हैं ना. So most of the time, our patterns that we have set up in, our convictions that we have set up in, our comfort zones that we have set up in, is not a problem of outside, it is a problem of inside. And how does one get out of that? Because we are anticipating change. See, if you are not anticipating change and you are okay with where you are, this shloka, this environment is not for you. But if there is that internal compass trying to say that, kahan pe latke hue? Why am I stuck here? I should have better than this. Why am I not in that? To such, satsanga becomes an external motivation, that which can be internalized, so that it gives us the necessary push and the direction. That kind of environment is called satsanga. It can be in different formats. Hanumanji, when he was flying from India, Air Pavan Hans, to Lanka, there were 4 obstacles that came his way. Right? मैं सारे नहीं पूछूंगा. What was the last one? Just before he tried entering into Lanka, there was a guardian of Lanka. What was her name? Lankini. Hanumanji had taken a very small form. Mashaka Rupa Dhari. Mashaka, mosquito. So when I read that particular doha, I said, oh, mosquitoes are like an eternal problem. It was there even in those days. Because the simile given is he had taken the shape and form and size of a mosquito. Lankini was so sharp that she stopped Hanumanji from crossing across into Lanka. She pulled him back. So Hanumanji takes his original form, asks Lankini, hey, why did you stop me? So she says, anybody that enters into Lanka without proper permission and sneaking in is considered as chauryam. Chauryam, thievery. So you are being a thief and it is my responsibility to stop you. So Hanumanji takes his gada and smacks into the face of that Lankini. Thap. There, Tulsidas ji says, Diyo do satsang. Hanumanji did not kill her, but smacked, and that smacking is called satsang. That which can course correct. So when we learnt that while we were going through the Vedanta course way back then. So when somebody was trying to be a over smart person, chalo isko satsang dete hain. We were referring to that particular doha. So satsang can be that. Satsang is that which identifies what is a problem, educates about how to handle that problem, provides the direction and inspiration to keep forging ahead. Satsanga. Wherein we first focus on educating ourselves. Wherever there is wisdom, there cannot be fear, anxiety and procrastinations. Wherever there is wisdom. Now, what is the corollary of that? If there is fear, anxiety and procrastination, it necessarily means that there is no clarity on that particular situation. Hai ki nahi? So where do we gain that clarity, that inspiration? That happens in satsanga. Satsanga means satsu sanga. Satsu means in good, finding an association, a company, that which can guide us, influence us. I am not talking about these Instagram, TikTok influencers. अक्सर वो सत्संग नहीं होता. That which is uplifting and inspiring. Now, how do we know we are in satsanga? Satsanga should necessarily lead to nissanga, to detachment from our own deterrents, detachment to that which stops us from growing. Simple example. Let's take your own children. When we find that our child is not making the same kind of, as an Indian parent, what are we focusing on? Grades. Thank you. So grades are falling. So you find that it is because you have given a new cell phone or a pad, iPad or whatever. And they are goofing off, whether on social media or YouTube or whatever else. So you identify it. What do you do as a parent? Everybody is looking at me like, क्या बात कर रहे हैं स्वामी जी, हमारे बच्चे तो ऐसे नहीं है. What do you do? Ooh, take the phone away and ground them for 2 weeks. Why did you take the phone away? Distraction. The same kid, when knows that it is exam or something due and there is no other way, the same distraction, the same fellow will put it aside when the pressure is on. But pathetically, he has been hearing his own parents, adults, elders saying, I seem to work better under pressure. मतलब कामचोर हो. When somebody you hear saying, I seem to work better under pressure, it is not that there is some kind of a skill set there. It is just that you have realized there is no other way. If you can pull yourself up in that particular pressured moment, to not be distracted with these distractions, we can certainly do better than that, which is what you expect from your children also. The same thing turned towards ourselves. So Satsanga is that environment which gives us inspiration. It sets us up with clarity. What does clarity do? It brings in conviction. Without conviction, we do nothing. We need to be convinced of what we are doing. Whether it is good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever it is, we need to be convinced of it. Right? Supposing you were one of such that your friend brought you to this environment saying, it is good environment for children. You came first week. You ask most of the teachers, they'll tell you this story. We came for the kids' sake, and now we have ended up being teachers or volunteers. We came for their sake. Supposing you were not convinced that this is the right environment for you and your children. However, be the pressure from that friend, what will you do? You will find a method to tell, to inform that I am not interested in that environment. Conviction has to be there, without which nothing can be done by us. Where does that conviction come from? It comes from clarity. Where does that clarity come from? It comes from being in inspiring environment, satsanga. Now once the conviction is set, conviction boils down to take courageous steps in life. It is not to be assumed that there will be no distractions in life, no challenges in life, no blockades in life, which is another problem that most of us have. I do so much of puja, I do so much of this, I go to satsang. Why are there problems in my life? Shouldn't it all be magically removed away? No, it doesn't happen that way. All this satsanga, clarity, inspiring environment, it will not change what we are going to face. It will not remove our obstacles. It will teach us how to go beyond those obstacles. And one solution will not fit into all situations. When I was growing up, the saying was, andaz cutting, perfect fitting nahi hota. If you want to get your clothes stitched, you have to give a perfect measure. Otherwise, guesstimate it, no, it will be tight one side, loose one side, it may not even fit. Similarly, in life, it cannot be one stroke fits all, it is different strokes for different situations. How many of you have seen Ganga Ji? Whether it is Kashi, Banaras, or Haridwar, Rishikesh, or Gangotri, Gomukh. Most of you have seen. And those of you who have yet to see, please, at least once in your life, visit. एक बार तो. When Ganga Ji starts her flow, it is unlike any other river. If you go to Triambakeshwar, Nashik, and climb the mountain up where there is source of Godavari, it is a mere trickle. It's just trickling. By the time she reaches down the foothill, it has become a stream. I wouldn't still call it a river. By the time it crosses Nashik into Panchavati area, it gathers flow. As the tributaries add in, it becomes a gigantic river. Ganga Ji is not like that. Right from the source, Gomukh, it is roaring river. It's a sight to watch. So when she is coming down, especially during monsoon season, there is heavy downpour and the soil of the mountain falls into the flow of Ganga Ji, blockading the entire flow. It happens many times. They call it as the landslides. Now suddenly that gigantic river, roaring river, has come to a pause, stop. It doesn't get bothered. Hi, मैं क्या करूं? I was meant to be flowing and this thing has blocked me. It gathers its momentum, finds the weakest spot in that particular block that landslide has brought in, and slowly starts trickling through that and finds its way. And once it finds its way, it gushes down that the entire thing that it was blocking, They call this in those regions as flash floods. Suddenly there is that huge amount of water which is going to now run havoc. That is how it handles it. When there is a major block, it gathers its potential. If there are these small stones and other things, it doesn't even get bothered by it. It just rolls them along, that by the time these very stones reach Kashi, Banaras, they have been so nicely polished that they look like Shivalinga. The same rough stone which started in Gangotri, it becomes a Shivalinga. That's how it has nicely polished the surface. Supposing there is a mountain that comes its way, it will not go hit its head into the mountain, but find the contours of it and find its path. The point is, even nature, Mother Gangaji, she teaches that there is not one that fits every situation. Different strokes for different situations. Isn't that how we want our cricket players also to play? I've stopped watching it, but when I used to watch, एक होता था Ravi Shastri. Throw any kind of ball to him, he will go all the way down the pitch and then play a defense stroke, come back. Whether it is one day, whether in those days there was no T20, whether it is one day or 5-day test matches, there was only one stroke that he could. In my native language, the commentators would say, Jiddu Ravi Shastri. Like he's like a sticky fellow. That if you have gone halfway through the pitch, the rest of them would have lifted the bat and placed it somewhere else. This fellow meticulously will go, play a defense and then come back. One stroke for all situations. Who is a great batsman? They will see the ball, the situation, understand what is the surroundings and place it in such a way that they maximize their effort. Right? That's when there is success. No, but it is not fair. I know only one stroke and this whole thing, they are putting ball. When you are small toddler learning how to play, you also want to throw the ball in such a way that the child feels confident with the ball and is not scared of that ball. Even after reaching an international arena, you still want that kind of a lallu ball, then maybe you are not a good player. You have to go hone in that skill. Similarly with life, what does this satsanga do? It gives us the skill set with this clarity, with this conviction, with this commitment, courage to jump in and face life as it comes. That it is not trying to say that obstacles will be removed. Obstacles will still be a part of our life. We now have the skill set to face those obstacles with different solutions. Now, on the highest spiritual level, what is the greatest obstacle? In Ramana Maharshi's Upadeshasara, he says, the greatest tapas or the greatest obstacle for a human is our own ego. Mahadidam tapo Ramana Vagiyam. Ahamapetakam nija vibhanakam. Aham, ahankara, is the greatest foe that we have to face. That is the greatest distraction. But in order to grow out of that, what is required? That which can give us this clarity about our essential nature. So, Satsanga acts like a mirror. Mirror does two things. It shows us where we are. Isn't it an awesome thing? Then what does a mirror do? It reflects everything. Right? Whether you are beautiful, ugly, horrifying, it doesn't matter. What does a mirror do? It reflects without judging who you are. It reflects everything. It rejects nothing. You ऐसा चेहरा लेके आए हो, चलो हटो. It rejects nothing. And the best part is, it retains nothing. Supposing it retains our image from 10 years ago. I'll take my case study. I'll not put you in that as an example. 10 साल पहले काले घने लंबे बाल थे. बाल तो थे. That comparative thing, it doesn't do, the mirror. It doesn't retain anything. What does Satsanga do? It reflects everything where we are. It rejects no one, no mindset. And it provides the direction for from here, that where we are to where we should be. Satsangatve Nissangatvam. How do we know that Nissanga detachment has happened? Supposing you are eating food, ekdam Hindi movie scene. You are eating food and you have scooped up that dal or whatever in your spoon and you are about to put it in your mouth and out comes from the kitchen, nahi. Can you visualize that scene? And then knocks that spoon out of our hand. So why? It has poison in it. Somebody had added or something fell in it and it has become poisonous. You should not be eating it. What do you immediately do as soon as you realize that? Usually the Bollywood scene is some cat or dog will lick it and it will fall dead and suddenly you realize that it was true. Scene aaya na? You understood the scene, right? The moment you realize that ball full of dal that was there, it is now poisonous, you realized it, what do? I will not eat the whole thing, thoda thoda kam karunga. Or you immediately throw it away, discard it. Get the point? Wherever there is this satsanga, Nissanga has to happen, and Nissanga happens because in the light of this clarity, moha is removed, delusions are removed. Nirmohatvam. Why are we attached to anything? We are attached because we have our own convictions saying that it gives a certain amount of comfort. But when we come to realize that it is not comfort, it is the same thing that is holding us back. We have the courage to break away from it. In one way, each one of us is caught up in something that which I can call it as an addiction. Even the addicts have the same thing, right? That which is comforting them, they are not ready to, they are not able to cut away from it. So what do they have to do? Rehabilitation. What is the rehabilitation enforcing? Trying to give that clarity so that that which they are attached to can be cut away from. When will that axing it away happen? Whenever the delusion that that particular vastu or that particular situation or the person or the thing is comforting me is completely flipped. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. When that delusion is gone, it is not meditation that gives you peace of mind. It is lack of delusion which gives us peace of mind. Get that very clearly. You may keep meditating, but the delusions are not removed. Tatkalika sukha, a temporary sukha during that particular phase, but as soon as you step back in, the same reality takes over. Peace is shattered. So wherever there is absence of these delusions, I can quickly sort it out, there is peace of mind. Nirmohatve nischala tattvam. Mind doesn't become wobbly in nature. And in a peaceful mind alone, there can be joy which can be enjoyed. Without a peaceful mind, you cannot have joys. If your mind is agitated, even if you have a very glorious situation that has unfolded, but your mind is still agitated, will you be able to enjoy that? We can enjoy only when our mind is at peace. If it is shattered in pieces, we can never enjoy that situation. From the most materialistic sense to the most spiritual sense. How does one achieve that peace of mind? When the delusions are put to rest. How do those delusions be removed? It happens through clarity, conviction, courage, which we gain in an inspired setup called Satsang. Is the sequence clear? Any questions? I can take a couple of questions. There are still 5 minutes. Ji. There is no better teacher than our own experience. Experience often changes guidelines into facts. I keep hearing that the kettle is hot and it can burn you. So I have Shraddha in it. My parents or somebody has said, don't touch it. I take it with word of mouth. I believe in it. But the day I inadvertently touch it and I experience it, it is no more born out of Shraddha. It is born out of fact. It has become factual. The conviction is deeper. But the most intelligent way of handling thing is when you see someone else burn their hand and you have gained that wisdom, never ever I will do that same mistake. Isn't that more profoundly better way to handle? A collection of all of these experiences is what Bhagavad Gita is talking about, Upanishads are talking about. Therefore, that becomes the satsanga. Clear? Last question. Very good. You don't need me to create questions to just have a discussion. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Next week I will not be here because there is a chick camp. That will be my last chick camp in Mangalam. So we are organizing that for 18 to 28 age group. They have to have been graduated from their 12th grade. Sometimes they are 18 and not graduated. It's not for them. 18 meaning they have come to college, and for such students till 28. So if you have any who you know that can benefit from it, please ask them to register. And 10th, 11th, 12th we have the camp in Mangalam. And I will be handing down my responsibility at a national level in that camp to the next generation of leadership. So I'll be busy there. I'll meet you a week after that. Hari Om.